Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. Today I just want to make a brief update video just to show you how things are going around the place. And make sure you stay to the end because I've got some exciting introductions to make. Out in the pasture area I've got my cows and my sheep and my alpacas. Exciting times ahead because we're due to be lambing fairly soon. This is Beth, who usually has her lambs first, and she's looking very big and uncomfortable at the moment, so she's not too far off. I've also got my cow Star pregnant, but she won't be having her calf until October. Hello Annie. This is Annie. She's my friendliest ewe. She's pregnant, but due after Beth. You can see the baby bump happening there. And this is Lucky. He's also pregnant, but not due for a little while. Just down there, relaxing, is Maddie, my fourth ewe that's due to have some lambs. These guys have been enjoying a few sunny winter's days of late. I've really slowed down grazing for these guys at the moment. They're on a small pasture because with shorter daylight hours and the cooler temperatures, the grass is growing a lot more slowly, which means it takes longer to recover. So we just have to move these guys slowly. I do supplement with hay as needed, which adds to the pasture with any that they leave. My ducks are enjoying life. These girls have just started to lay and we're getting a lot of eggs from them. It's great because my chickens are still having time off. In my lower swale, I planted some macadamia trees. This one is looking quite good in its little tent, well protected from the frosts. While some of the surrounding plants haven't fared so well and the frost has got to the ends of them. This little tree had newer growth on it than the other one, and it has been a bit damaged by the cold weather. So I'm hoping once we get through winter, we'll see some growth. The elderberries that I planted next to my two macadamias are going great. There's a couple on the north side of the plants which are really doing fantastic. And the third is just starting to kick in. The little acacias that I transplanted have not died, so they're still hanging in there. It hasn't been too cold as yet. If we'd had really severe frosts, then these might have been killed off. They're not growing at this stage, but they've still got their younger leaves on, so I'm hopeful that they'll kick in as the temperatures warm up. With the canopy of these Tagasasti trees protecting the avocados, it's really taken out the concern I felt for the survival of these trees. It's a bit hard getting into these structures because I've sort of stapled them all up, but you can just see enough to know that these trees are quite happy in there. With a warm, sunny winter's day, it's very busy in the bee yard. And they're making the most of all the beautiful Tagasasti flowers. I have a lot of Tagasasti trees on all three swales. Not only the bees love these Tagasasti flowers, but so do the birds. Something that's not very exciting to look at, but excites me every time I go past it, is this area on my top swale where I dumped a whole heap of dock plants, all full of seeds, but it's all breaking down. There's a heap of seeds all through here, but I often find birds up here eating all of these seeds. It's actually creating amazing soil. I was a bit nervous about just putting all of these dock plants down. See, there's still some branches breaking down, but it has worked out beautifully with getting the the soil rebuilt in this dugout swale. Recently planted in my swale food forest, these 3 artichokes have transferred really well. Some areas of my swale food forest system get a lot more attention than others. I've got to start somewhere, and you can see where I have done a bit of work, like around all my productive trees, there's a lot less of the grasses. That will continue over time. Where I haven't quite got to the chop and drop, these trees are actually providing a lot of shade and blocking out the light for the grasses and dropping leaf litter. So even if I haven't got in to do the chop and drop just yet, these trees still provide quite a lot of benefit with the shade and a mulching function. I'm finding rhubarb is an amazing plant to have, kitchen garden and in my food forests. It looks beautiful with the bright colours, but it also provides great food and mulch. If I don't need to eat it, I can still just drop it to the ground. But when I do harvest the stalks, I leave the leaves in place just to feed the soil. I've got my potato bags here, which I planted about a month or so ago now. They're going really well. They've got plenty of warmth in this north-facing aspect with the brick wall and sort of the heat being radiated back from that. So they're going well. They do have some bug damage. I think it might be earwigs. That's all I can find around the place that might be eating them. But I think they'll still go well regardless. I do have to add in a bit more hay to bulk the bag up a little bit, but I'll wait till they're a bit bigger. I have been keeping them covered on nights when a frost is likely to help protect them, and they're under the cover of this eave, so I'm giving them the best chance and I'm hoping for a great harvest. Up in the front garden, I've moved my chicken flock just up the hill a little bit, but they've left this area here, which I hope I will be able to make a little bit more productive over the coming month and turn it back into an area where I can plant veggies, hopefully potatoes and sweet potatoes. My plan for this front garden is to not only feed me and have enough to share, but also have enough left over so that I can feed the chickens a lot more from the garden and reduce the amount of feed that I have to purchase. This is my little onion patch, which isn't going as good as I would have hoped by now. It did germinate really well, but I had birds come in and dig up a lot of these little plants that I did manage to replant, but I have had to keep nets over it, which has impacted on how well they've been growing. They're just not getting the amount of sun that I would have liked. The winter garden has been feeding me well. Plenty of broccoli, lots of kale and the Swiss chard, no shortage of beetroot, and the colours are just beautiful. The garlic are growing really well. All I've had to do for them is just turn the mulch over. With the duck bedding, I found there was a lot of seeds that came from the hay, but a quick turn and it kind of gets right on top of it. And I've already got some amazing artichokes coming along as well. Something else that's looking good out in my front garden is the asparagus. With the warmer conditions this winter, I think it's kind of confused my asparagus plants because they're already starting to grow. My younger carrots are getting bigger where they've got more space, but a lot are still just tiny until I've thinned them out. Now to some news that I've been fairly slow in sharing. If you've been watching my videos for some time, you'll have seen Ruby in the background playing or bringing a rock for me to throw and just generally having a great time. Back in April, Ruby was bitten by a snake and sadly passed away. It's been really devastating to me, and that's why I think I found it hard to share. I've buried Ruby here, and we've planted this little orange tree in the kitchen garden as a memorial to her. Ruby. But today I'd like to introduce you to two new family members. This is Rusty, and this little one is Evie. They are 9 weeks old and keeping me very busy with playing and training and just sitting there watching them really. These two new little characters are already providing the much needed joy that had disappeared with my Ruby's departure. No doubt you'll be seeing a lot more of these guys as they grow older.